And welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is another patron roster review, and this is Big Bad Bone Daddy from Planet Moraband. Now, Big Bad Bone Daddy, that is a mouthful, by the way, wanted to know a little bit about Arena, maybe how to mod some of these characters or what mods to put on, some ship information, a little bit on how he's doing for ships, and the Dark Side Territory battles. Also, maybe a team or two for the Heroic AAT. And so let's get right into it. Going into Arena, your Arena team currently where it's at is good. I do know that you said that you're going for CLS and you think you're going to probably be able to get CLS the next time around, which should be happening sooner than later. And so what you're going to do is take out your Wedge and Biggs, and you're going to be putting in your CLS and your turrets. Now, when we go into your inventory, I noticed that your turret is down about halfway. He's at gear 9, 6-star, really not quite ready yet. And if you look, you don't even have mods on him. So you asked about mod suggestions, and I guess I was looking for the mods you were using so I could compare, and I'm noticing a lot of your characters don't have mods on them. So a couple of things to that. One, you really need to make sure you're putting mods on your characters. And if you pulled them for a particular reason today, make sure that you put something in their place, anything when you're using those characters. And I know you're probably not using him yet, so that's why you're probably not concerned about mods, but trust me, mods make a massive impact. It's almost like raising a character's gear level from gear 9 to gear 10. Actually, it's better than that most of the time if you get the right mods on the right character. With Turret Imwe, I would do crit damage set, crit chance set, and I would do a speed arrow, a critical damage triangle with an offense plus, and then a protection circle. That's what I would do for Turret, and I would put him in Arena when you get your CLS ready to go. So you're going to save this suggestion with Arena, leave it for now, leave your Arena for now until you get your Turret and CLS up there. Make sure you get CLS to at least gear 9, and then Turret and CLS are going to replace Wedge and Biggs. With CLS, you just want to make him as fast as possible. You can use a arrow, speed arrow. You can also use a crit damage triangle, and you can use an offense plus and then a protection circle, just like I suggested for Turret. But let's go ahead and look at the other characters. Your lead was Rex. So again, I'm looking and I'm just assuming that you've probably pulled the mods off for some reason, but he is your Arena team right now. And so kind of crazy, not sure why. You really want to make Rex fast and durable, but you can use health mods. You don't have to go crazy and find specific mods. Health mod sets are fine, or defense mod sets are fine, but really health is where he lacks. So the more health you can give him, the better. And then ones with speed secondary would be good to make him fast so he can get up his squad discipline as fast as possible. And then you use an arrow that's going to be speed. For the triangle, you'll probably put in there something like protection or something to that effect, so that way you keep him around a little bit longer. And then same thing, you probably want to put protection on the plus and protection on the circle. You really could put potency on the plus if you wanted to give him a little bit more potency, if you were wanting to get his turn meter reduction to apply, then that might be why you'd want to put potency there. Otherwise, for me, for Arena, for the purposes of what you're doing, I would just try to get as much possible protection on this guy so that way he sticks around in the battle. But yeah, looking at mods, my mod suggestion is get mods on him, probably 3 health sets, and then get all protection on him that you can, except for maybe a speed arrow to make him a little bit faster. So with Arena, I know once you put in CLS and Turret, you'll have Baze there, R2-D2 there, and you'll have Rex as the leader giving a bunch of extra turn meter. For now, with Rex, you're going to need to add those mods onto him, and then with R2-D2, you're fine. With Baze, you're going to want to add some mods onto him. You definitely need to focus on mods. I'm noticing a trend with all of your characters, and that is that you're just flat missing mods. And like I said, I don't know if you stripped them all for the Dark Side Territory battles. That could have been a thing, but if that's the case, that means you need a lot more mods. And this is your Arena team, which makes you crystals. And so because you're asking about Arena and how to get better, I would definitely say once a mod is on an Arena character, you lock it and do not take it off of that character, so that way that character can't get any worse. But without mods, it's amazingly your characters are amazingly weaker. And so it's almost like taking all your characters down an entire gear level from where they're at. And so with him, I would go straight protection primaries on everything. And I would either do health or defense sets, preferably health sets. If you're having a hard time getting your hands on other mod sets, do health mods. Now, you are a dolphin. You've been playing for over a year, so you do on a rare occasion invest some money in the game. And so because of that, you may want to consider just buying some crystals and doing as many refreshes on health mods as possible with that money, and just getting as many, or buying crystals and buying mod packs. The mod packs in the store very well may give you some of the mods you're looking for these characters. Again, when I'm looking at your characters that you're currently using, I mean, this is your arena team we're talking about, and you're missing 5 mods on your characters. He's also a ship pilot, and this negatively affects how well his ship is going to do in ship's arena. Now, when looking at ships, I'm getting just a slight bit confused using the Executrix, which is a great main ship, and it looks like you're going for a target lock team because you have Rex that can do target lock, the TIE Advanced, and you've got the Phantom 2, and then you've got Biggs that is a good tank. But I think with what you have available, you definitely are going to want to mix this up. Now, first thing you're going to need to focus on is, 1, you need to gear all the pilots up that I suggest. So the ships that I suggest, they're pilots you need to gear up. 2, you need to star up the characters and their ships, the ones that I suggest. 3, you need to get all of their attacks and abilities maxed out, or at least to level 7. And 5, you have got to put 5 dot mods on every character, even if they're a pilot. If they're a pilot, 5 dots. Even if you don't use this character in any other part of the game, you definitely want to use, like if you're not using your Phoenix, you still want to have 5 dot mods on those Phoenix characters if you were going to raise these ships' abilities up, and their strength and stuff, their speed, their health, all that comes from the character's overall ability to import the strength. So you want to make sure you have good mods on your characters. So with your ships, the first thing I'm going to say is TIE Advanced that you have and Biggs that you have, great. But when I look at your inventory, I see a lot of ships that you're not using that you should be using. And the first that I see is the TIE Reaper, even at 3 stars, but you've almost got the TIE Reaper at 4 stars. And so that ship is super viable, especially for Executrix, slowing down the opponent's capital ship. And then I also see your TIE Advanced. I would keep that in there. The Biston U-Wing you have is a great ship and might be a possibility for your first 5 for sure. I also see in this middle row the Imperial TIE Fighter, Biggs, and the First Order TIE Fighter. Now the TIE Advanced, the Imperial TIE Fighter, the First Order TIE Fighter, the TIE Reaper, and Biggs are the top 5 that I would suggest. And the reason for that is those ships combined are going to give you all of the Empire synergy that you're looking for, with all of the damage and then all of the protection that you're needing for that team. Then in the backup, I would probably use the Umbaran, because the Umbaran is going to be a tanky ship to keep you around. Because remember, you're going to have that TIE strike you're going to be able to do to finish the battle, and the Umbaran will give you that durability. And with him in your backup, it's going to mitigate how much extra turn meter he ends up feeding your opponents. And then right after the Umbaran, you could bring in your Scimitar, because he then would be able to be targeted. He could then stealth everybody and target either the Umbaran or your Imperial TIE Fighter to totally frustrate your opponents. And lastly, I would bring in Slave 1 with his multiple AoEs and his target lock on basic, plus he's pretty tanky as a ship. That's what I would do on ships, but man, oh man, you've got a lot of work on your gearing on these characters. I would only have in your favorites the characters we're talking about. These are your pilots right now. And then also level up these ships, get them finished up on 7 stars. And then remember, you need mods, lots and lots of mods. You need to focus on mod farming. And I know you're probably thinking, I can't do mod farming. Well, you said you were a bit of a dolphin. My suggestion then is invest in some mod packs if you have to, at minimum for your arena team, to get your arena team up there. Now, you did ask about the heroic AAT and kind of what teams you could use for this. And really your resistance is kind of where it's at. It needs to be. And so you could use this team. You do need to get your resistance trooper to 7 stars. But other than that, your resistance looks like it's probably going to be hat ready. And then you can work towards a P3/P4 team. The phase 3/phase 4 team is going to be CLS, Han Solo, R2D2, BB-8, and Thrawn. And of course, we see your BB-8 is 5 stars. So to get your BB-8 to 7 stars, we have to look at your first order. And with first order, we notice you only have 2 characters that you need to get up 1 more star, first order TIE Pilot and the Stormtrooper. They're both difficult farms, yes, but you only have 1 more star for each of them. That's a few hundred shards if you focus heavily on these 2 characters, so that way you can get your BB-8 up. You will also need BB-8 for the upcoming Rey event, so definitely 2 birds, 1 stone. Work on these 2 characters, specifically just their starring. Just get the stars that you need for these characters, and then you'll be able to use BB-8 in both the Rey event and in this phase 3 and phase 4 team. Your Thrawn is already 7 stars, so he's ready for this phase 3/4 team. And your R2D2 is ready. Your CLS doesn't exist yet, but you will be unlocking him very soon, so you'll want to work on him. And then lastly is Han Solo. OG Han Solo, you have it 6 stars, and you're fixing him up. When he gets finished off, is going to be an excellent addition to this team. So the team that I would suggest for the second half of phase 3 that will play through phase 3 and into phase 4 will be a CLS lead, Han Solo, R2D2, BB-8, and Thrawn. And you basically only need a couple first order startup and your Han Solo finished off by getting a few more of those raids, and then of course getting your CLS unlocked, and you have all the characters you need for CLS, so you should be able to get CLS there. And then you also asked about the dark side territory battles. Now again, I know I sound like a broken record for many people, but the Imperial Troopers are the second best team in the game for the dark side territory battles, with Night Sisters, in my opinion, being the best. The Imperial Troopers are going to be a bit of a grind because Death Trooper is in a high Cantina node and takes a while. Also, Shore Trooper is difficult to farm, although they have raised the drops from 3 to 5 potential per day. I know when I farmed Shore, it was only 3 a day, which you got an average of 1 a day, and that made it a 1-year farm to get him to 7 stars. But I do hear from other people that these are occasionally dropping in like the guild store potentially, so there's that. So you may want to consider that. Just like Director Krennic, I've actually confirmed and seen Director Krennic dropping in the guild store. So they've done a lot of reworks recently in all of the stores, and there's a bunch of new characters floating around in the stores. So pay attention to all the stores and see if you can find any of the characters that you're looking at getting their star level up. If you see them in these stores, whether it be the shipments, the guild store, or the new territory battles, territory wars store, definitely you could use that currency to speed the star farming up on those characters. Now with this, you will want to do General Veers, Snow Trooper, Shore Trooper, and Death Trooper, and then it's a toss-up for Magma or Storm Trooper after that. If it's not an Imperial Trooper specific node in the dark side territory battle, you could use Director Krennic, but you would have to level him up. Again, you could farm Director Krennic in the guild store as well as slow farm him. As far as on the side, 2 things that you will want to focus on is going to be the veteran smugglers. Now you've geared them up to 6. That's probably sufficient for now. Maybe get them to 7, but you want to get in the cantina. You've got a few weeks, I'm guessing, to get these guys up. So make sure that you try to get them up to 7 stars as best as possible. It's kind of 2 birds, 1 stone, and this is why these 2 characters were built specifically for the light side territory battles, and both do very, very well in those light side territory battles. Plus, both of them are going to be used in any kind of event where you need your scoundrels. They're 2 really great scoundrels, and then 3, they're both needed more than likely for Rey. And so because of that, you definitely are going to want to get them leveled up as fast as possible. Again, you said you are a dolphin. That means that you do spend a little money here and there. If there was anything other than mods that I would want you to do, and that would be to get some crystals so you could get more energy refreshes on Cantina. So these 2 guys could become important. So as a priority, Big Bad Bone Daddy, I would put first on the side, farming those vets to try to be able to get your new Ray potentially. Also getting up those 2 first orders so you can get BB-8, because you will need BB-8 before you can get him. And then also making sure that with Arena, all your characters have mods on them, 5-dot mods. Even if they don't make as much sense, it's better than no mods. And then, of course, swapping out Chirrut and CLS for Wedge and Biggs when you get a chance. With your ships, eventually you'll want to mod it up to have your TIE Advanced, Biggs, Imperial TIE Fighter, First Order TIE Fighter, and TIE Reaper. And then you can have in the backup the Umbaran, Scimitar, and Slave 1. For Hat, you use your Resistance team in Phase 2 for now, and then work towards that Phase 3, Phase 4 team, CLS, Han, R2-D2, BB-8, and Thrawn. With Darkside, work on the Imperial Stormtroopers. They're pretty amazing. You can Zeta Veers. That's going to help drastically. And try your hardest to farm those Darkside the nodes for the vets, the veteran Han and veteran Chewie. As always, if you have any questions, you can always hit me up on our private Discord chat. And if anybody has any comments for Big Bad Bone Daddy, leave them in the comments down below. And keep your gaming on. Warrior out.